Welcome back to the Live Worthy podcast, where we urge and equip you to live a life worthy of the calling you've received. You have been called by God. I'm your host, Erin, and with me today, she's back, Pastor Paula Chewning. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
My dear friend, I just feel safer and warmer when you're in the room.
Oh, I feel the same.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yes, I love you too. But this time we're talking in a different context because we're in the assignment of ministry. Mm-hmm. And so I thought about this assignment of ministry. You are a church planter. You and your husband have planted a church. You have been a business owner, so you've been in the marketplace for years and years. And then you got this call into ministry with your husband, and now you've planted a church in Tampa. Which is several years in, right? I mean, it's been four-ish years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you are a pastor and a pastor's wife. And I want to talk about all of those things today as we talk about the ministry assignment and what it means in your life. So welcome.
Thank you, Erin. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to have a good time.
It'll be fun.
It's going to go by fast.
It will.
So I'll get right to it. So your role as a shepherd, I just think of, when I think of like the good shepherd, the heart of the Father, I think of you as my friend, as a pastor, as the way that you welcome people in and just make them feel at ease. Mm-hmm. So tell us about what this ministry assignment right now looks like in your world.
Well, I think as always, I'm just figuring it out, Erin. I really am. I'm just trying to own what Jesus has given me as a pastor's wife, as a pastor, and just love people. I think a lot of things about it are a little bit hard, and I'm not good at a lot of things, but I think that the loving people is the part that He made that easy for me. So, yeah. Which is kind of an indicator, I think.
If you love to love people, you might be a good shepherd.
Maybe that could be a thing.
Maybe a qualifier. They should ask that in seminary.
Yeah. Do you like people? No, maybe you shouldn't.
Maybe just, this might not be the ministry for you. So, okay. So tell us about that. Did you grow up in ministry? What was your, I want to get to how you got there, but where you are now, but what was your experience before you were called into ministry? Did you have a lot of experience?
Well, I did not grow up in ministry. We did a lot of serving, in different ministry capacities, but not vocationally, my parents, anything like that. I think the way that I grew up in church was more legalism and God is mad at you, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I was an adult that I learned that God is He's all about relationship. Mm-hmm. So, that's just,
So you didn't grow up with it.
I did not.
A little bit legalistic as you were kind of meant to serve. It was your duty almost, right?
Yes, you have to be there every time the door's open. And there was nothing about knowing God and how he loves me that would draw me into it. So that's all something I learned as an adult.
So did you have an affection for ministry, or did you think I'm never going to be called into that?
I would never think that I would be called to do that. Some of my family members were in ministry, and so I saw kind of the backside. And
the backside is like a backside
is something. So I never thought of it for myself, and I was never interested in it. As a single girl, I did a lot of ministry type things. I led small groups and was very active in that way. Just as an individual. So, but I never thought it would be my life. I really didn't. Yeah.
So when we talk about how ministry might doesn't doesn't look the backside of ministry or whatever, some people might disqualify themselves maybe for the way they felt about ministry when they grew up, or they might make an agreement that says, I'm never going to be a part of that or whatever. What would you say to some of those people who are, did you ever feel disqualified? Did you ever feel like...
I felt so disqualified. When my husband told me that, like, we're doing this, I was like, I don't want to. Like, thank you, but even to Jesus, like, thank you, but no thank you. Like, I've seen it, I have no interest in it. I felt like it was very fishbowl, you know? And, like, everything you do matters differently. All of the things, like what you wear and what you say, where you go, what you drink, like everything's a different issue after you step into ministry. I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah, your life is under scrutiny, constant scrutiny.
So it's a lot. It's a lot in that way.
And even if it's
when you're looking at it from the beginning, you know?
Yeah, even if it's not by people, even if they could care less, it's like the enemy uses that idea of like everybody's watching you, not as a place of honor for the Lord, but as a curse against you almost. It's like this secret, you feel like you have to, everything has to be separated in your life.
Right. Probably from the legalism that I grew up in, you know? So.
Okay, so you didn't grow up in it. So what has been the hardest part about it? Well, tell us about how you were called. You mentioned a little bit that Howard got this call. So tell us a little bit about that, you two, and how that happened.
So my girls were young, and he was in ministry. As I said, I was doing single ministry type things. And he told me that was part of his calling in some capacity. And so I just assumed we would be like older and wiser. Our kids would be older. Like I thought it would be like that. Yeah. So when he said it's time, I was like, it's not time, actually. I don't want to do it. But then, you know, just having Jesus work on me in the process, I told him all of those things why I didn't want to do it. But I told him I'm willing to be willing. Like, if you'll help me want to do it, I'll do it.
I'm willing to be willing. That's a whole thing. One of my mentor spiritual fathers, he says, he talks about will as it's hard to be in God's will if you have one of your own. Because then you won't know if they even align. So willing to be willing is a thing.
Oh, it's a thing.
Yeah.
It is, and it's like I don't have to want everything that I'm asked of or called to. Yeah. But to just understand that it's a process, and if I can just have my heart be like, regardless of how I feel, if I don't feel equipped, if I don't feel good enough, I don't feel whatever it is. Yeah. You know, if I can just get my heart to be, I'm willing to do whatever you ask me, if you'll just help me feel that way. Yeah.
So I know you got a little
I'm a crier.
Emotional on that. And so I want to know, like, when you say that, that's a big statement. And there's something behind it that I want to know. What created that? What caused that reaction? And I wonder if it matters how much that, like, it seems like your reaction has cost you something. There's something that's cost you to say yes, to be willing to be willing. What has it cost you?
Well, I think that, like all of those things, that your life is different. You know, I think if you're going to do ministry and you're going to do it well, that there's a standard that you don't get to just do whatever you want or be whatever you want. Or it affects every part of your life. And I knew that. And that's what I was like, I don't want all that.
It was like you were counting that cost.
I was counting that cost. Like, what does my life look like if I say yes to this? And so that's what I didn't want. I just wanted to do like my own little, marriage, family, Jesus life. I didn't want anything else more than that.
Yeah. Because now you're stepping in, not the scrutiny part, okay, but now you're stepping into a leadership position where leaders are kind of exposed for people to see, to be able to follow. So it's like, what am I replicating on the earth? And so if I'm replicating something on the earth, suddenly you realize what needs to change in you before you let that be repeated.
So many things, Erin. It's like, because if you think about, being in a church, I was in church my whole life, and I just imagined certain things about the pastor and his wife, and I feel like there's this line, like, do they do that? Do they, you know what I mean? I would look at them wondering, and you don't mean to do it, but you do it anyway.
Yeah. Do you think it's a bad thing to do that with leaders?
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a natural thing to do, right? Mm-hmm. How are they doing it? What are they doing? I think that's a natural thing to do.
Yeah.
And so to me, that brought a level of responsibility.
Yes.
Because, you do that? Oh, I can totally do that.
Yeah.
Or, does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, no. I'm not trying to, not in any way, like, you're better or anything like that. It's just like, you have to hold a different line, I think.
Yeah, because whatever, I forget the sentiment. It's like whatever you're doing, whatever you're saying from the position of the pulpit, they're shouting in the streets. So it's, the idea is that if you've got this life from that place of the pulpit, this ministry life, seen and unseen, like, it is a mark of what is happening outside in the culture. So if we're called to holiness, then the standard of holiness for those, the scripture talks about that you are raised to a higher standard. You are going to be accountable for every word spoken as a teacher. So it's like those things, and they should make us tremble in fear and awe of what, the standard that we're held to, the responsibility we have. And it is a privilege. Mm-hmm. But it is worth counting.
Yes. And I think probably just the way my personality is, that felt very serious to me. Yeah.
And again, I think the question is that a bad thing? I don't think so. I
guess it's not a bad thing, but yeah.
It's, to me, when I see that, especially the way that you said it, I see it as the fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord, and then that friction between, or that tension between the fear of the Lord and the fear of man. What am I going to choose when it comes down to it? Am I going to fear the Lord? Or am I going to get rid, in me, is what I'm saying, like this fear of man that I have, this insecurity, this wanting to be liked and known and seen? Am I going to really lay that down?
Sure.
And only the time sometimes tells us that.
Yes. Ooh. The process is crazy, right?
So what have you found in those moments as you've been doing this for the last several years? 4.5, 10, 5,
I know.
million.
Ooh, several sounds scary. I'm like, has it been several? 4-ish. I'll say 4-ish. I have learned this, and I think this is a great thing, is that it's not as scary as you think. And Jesus is so okay with process. He's so okay with just becoming on the journey, right? And I think that's a good thing to lead. It's a good place to lead from. Like, I'm not going to do it right, but I'm going to be teachable, and I'm going to say I'm sorry when I mess up, and try to love people well. And I think he's pleased with that. Yeah. I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We interrupt this program to bring you a profound announcement about a little girl who found overflowing oil in her farm, and her name is Mabel. I wrote this story. It is now available on Amazon. We'd love for you to check it out. And I wrote this story with my girls in mind. What Mabel discovers is that some people think that only certain vessels are worthy to carry the oil that she's just found. But she discovers that every vessel is worthy to hold the oil that she's discovered. So we want to put it in your hands. It's on Amazon right now. So click the link in the podcast notes or here on the video. Now back to the show. I think that is the right way. Like you said, I'm not going to do it right, but I actually think that is the right way.
It's freeing.
Yeah.
It's freeing to be like, I'm just going to do the best I can do today, and I'm going to grow into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a big part, is growing into it.
When do you think you, along the way, when did you start to get that?
I think, it's just at least not until the first year. Because you're just so busy setting everything up and getting it going. And, then you just start to settle in a little bit. And that's when you can just be like, it's okay. I'm clearly going to mess it up. It's like parenting and all the other things we do.
Yeah.
Clearly going to mess it up. But I'm just going to do my best along the way and have the least amount of collateral damage as possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that goes across the board with relationships and parenting and everything. So, yeah.
So what is the hardest part been, or would you say is currently about ministry?
For us, the hardest part has been when people are with you, and they're on your team with you in a capacity like that. And then for whatever reason, they aren't there anymore. Yeah. So I have found that to be the hardest thing so far, and navigating that well, and navigating your heart, and, forgiving properly on both sides of the table. Like, that's been the hardest thing so far.
And that would be, they leave and it's not necessarily for a bad reason. It's just the Lord has called them someplace else.
Both.
Yeah.
Like both.
It's still just as hard to lose.
It is. It is. You know about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is. And just trying to be like, I do the best I can with every relationship and leave people better and bless them. However it plays out. If it's not a good thing, to try to have my heart be pure and bless them as they go. And if it is a good thing, to celebrate, what's next for them, and that understand that there's a place, there's someone else assigned to you.
Yeah.
And so that has been a growth place. Like, you don't have to worry. It's Jesus has got it, and he's got your people that are supposed to do it with you. And so it's been the hardest part, but it's also taught me a lot about, like, we're not building the house, right?
Yeah.
He's building the house.
He's building his house.
So
yeah,
I try to remember that as we grow and change. Like, don't forget what you learned, put it in play, and bless people as they go, whatever that looks like. Yeah.
So what does it look like then? Is this, and maybe you've just answered it, but I would love to hear more. What does it look like to lay your life down for the sheep as a pastor? That's really the shepherd role, right?
Yes. I would have to just say that language is tricky for me, but what comes to mind? Oh, lay your life down sounds more dramatic, like, than I want to think about, I think. But I would say, it's in the hard things. I would say in the hard things, in the inconvenient things. That's often when things happen, right? When it's not the most convenient time for you or your family to do something, you know, but that's often when needs happen. Things like that.
Yeah.
I would say, you know, laying my life down, I don't know. So I think that would maybe speak to that. Like just being like, oh, I'm called to do these things, and sometimes it's not neat and tidy in a time frame that is always desirable, you know, but that's how life happens.
Yeah.
Life is always not in the scheduled times. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
As if
things
we
like
get
that,
to hold
you
on
know.
to those schedules. How fun
Right.
is that?
Yeah. So I would say things like that. Yeah.
So what is the part about ministry that you find people don't often talk about or wouldn't maybe want to hear? We would want to give you a microphone to be able to share, like, here's something, if you're coming to ministry, this is the hard part nobody talks about.
Probably that it's a little bit, it's a tiny bit lonely in the, okay, now you got to find a new tribe of people to just be your circle. You know, because you can't share everything.
Yeah.
You know, just I think that's part of it. Like you just got to find your people to do it with, who are going to do it with you and support you along the way. And sometimes that takes a minute.
Yeah.
But that was definitely a game changer for me.
That you had to, and is there in that process of finding a new tribe, now you're in this leadership position, you know, we sort of hold up to a pedestal sometimes these pastoral figures, the position, right? Because it is a leadership position. Was that challenging in finding, not only now were you in this new place of needing people to be in community with, but also finding a line of what you could share, and also recognizing that they may see you for the position that you hold as opposed to the friend coming in. Is that something that you found coming?
I did find that, especially early on.
Yeah.
When you're all beginning together and from the ground up, right?
Yeah.
Set up and tear down and all the things. And just the daily things that you encounter. Jesus taught me, he said specifically, I would just want you to process with me.
That's a true statement.
Like, don't. You think you're just saying things, but you can't just do that. Yeah. So that was really good for me to know. Like, okay,
You're my safe place, Jesus.
I don't have to process with anyone else.
Yeah.
If I don't have that, I didn't have that at the time. And so he was like, just come to me and, you know, whatever you're feeling, just talk to me about it and nobody else. And yeah, I'll be your safe place and we'll work it out here. And because I think especially in the beginning, you just need a place to bounce things off or unload things or whatever. And you can't just do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
and
do.
You would think you should know that, but I didn't.
No.
You know what I mean? It's just an interesting little growth spot. You're like, okay, well, that's not productive or helpful. So Jesus is like, let's just not do that again. Just talk to me alone.
Yeah.
You know? So that was very good.
Yeah, it is a strange
Right.
thing because you want to verbally process. And I think as women relationally, we tend to want to share our lives with people, especially we're willing to be very vulnerable.
Yes.
But there's certainly times where the Lord is like, that's just me and you, girl.
Yes. Yes. And I'm naturally an authentic person. So that was like,
how do I be authentic
yes.
and yet not share
Yes.
some of the most vulnerable pieces of my life? And I think that it's not anything against them. It's just maybe.
Sure. It's not meant for that space.
Yeah.
And so that's just a good thing to learn early on. I think that, you know, there are people prepared for you.
Yeah.
And Jesus will send them, and, you know, just the awareness to ask him and look for them, I think.
Yeah.
Is good. It's just Yeah.
That is a good one to talk about. I'm glad we shared a little bit about that. So what would you want somebody to understand about being full-time in ministry? Like, it doesn't ever stop. You talked a little bit about how it's not convenient. So all these, women who are feeling called in this moment, women and men that are listening, and they're like, I know that there's something God is birthing inside of me. It is a ministry opportunity that I've just been presented. And what does that look like to be in a position of full-time ministry?
Well, it's a lot, and like I said, you're going to figure it out as you go. We'll just do our best to do diligence and prepare. But then to just know that if you're called to it, provision is there. Like, he's already provided. He's already put it inside, right? It's already inside of me what I have to do, and the things that he's called me to. So I think that it's just knowing that and kind of being intentional to focus on that, because it's going to be, it's going to be hard. It's hard to build something. It's hard to be in full-time ministry. It's hard to navigate what you're building with your church family and what you're doing with your own family and all of those things. It's tricky, but everything that's meaningful is tricky and hard to build, right? Like, you got to work at it and strategize and figure it out. And Jesus is the counselor. The Holy Spirit's the counselor to just help us along the way. So I'm really learning to lean into that. Whatever he's called me to do, I get to do it with him. So I don't have to feel as responsible about everything. I feel very responsible about things. And he's like, but it's not your thing. You can just do it with me and ask me everything you need to know along the way. So it's really weird because it's simple and complex at the same time. But just, I'm really just trying to learn and focus on taking everything about the day, about what I'm doing or building, to just take it to him and ask him for strategy and wisdom. And like, I don't know what I'm doing. So just teach me, right?
Teach me.
So.
And that is true whether you're full-time in ministry or part-time in ministry or full-time marketplace,
right?
Full-time motherhood, full-time marriage, like,
yes,
whatever that
right?
is, these challenges, these setbacks, these hard parts, this laying down of your life is coming into that space. That's because that's our call as believers,
right?
So the practical way of coming to Jesus with every part of hardship and also growth.
Yes.
And saying, like, I don't even know maybe what I'm capable of, what capacity I have.
Right.
Will you teach me?
Yes.
What you say about me?
So good.
Because we put so many limits on ourselves, on our family, on our marriage, everything. And I know last year at Worthy we did this with the balloon, but it comes back to me all the time.
Love
and
that.
I think when you shared, it reminded me of that, where if you have a balloon, you think, oh, this is how much capacity this balloon has when it's just there, right? I don't have a balloon, but if it's like just there, you're like, this is what it can hold. I'll fill it with sand, but you don't realize the stretching capacity it has until you fill it with air. And then it can grow and grow and grow. And I think the Lord, as he breathes on us, is like releasing a capacity in us that we don't even recognize we have. And so that submission of like, teach me, like breathe upon me again. Because there's something, I'm not going to break or pop, but I might deflate if I stop asking you.
Yes. And it really helps, I think, for me to like have things that feel hard and just say, well, what if it doesn't have to be? It doesn't have to be so hard to build or to do because of that. Like every little step, like he's going to teach me as I go and bring people into my life that I need. And just different things. So it's just a really good frame for me. And I think it helps, takes the pressure off.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of pressure that we put on ourselves and other people and it's just good to just feel like, you know what, I'm just going to kind of chill with Jesus and be like, what is he saying? What is he telling me to do? And focus on that little by little and not over stress it.
Yeah. And I think there's something about like that pace that if you are really thinking about longevity in the kingdom and you're counting that cost, and as you think about longevity, you think this pace that I have is not sustainable. This pressure that I feel, I will crush under the weight of that. I'll implode. So it's almost like you have to recognize, and I feel it in your presence. I mean, we hear it as we listen. It's just this like, calm down.
I think I have to tell myself that, like, just chill, Paula. Like, it's not all that, And yeah, just walk it out with him.
Just walk it out.
Yes.
Okay, so my most favorite question that I want to ask you is, what do you want your job to be in heaven?
Oh, I love this question. I would like some options. Like, I'm like, oh, what are my options exactly?
Yeah.
Well, right off, I just feel like I would want to be the greeter. I love to do that everywhere I go.
You love to welcome people.
So, but I love to see people. So, yeah. And then I would be like, look, you made it.
Look, you made it. You didn't think you would go that.
I didn't know you. I wasn't sure. No, let's say that to my husband. But no, I just think that would be a fun, right? Like to see everyone like, oh, Jesus is so happy to see you. Welcome.
Yeah.
I think that would be a fun job.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
We would just have balloons and confetti cannons, right? I think. Let's do it. I love that. Oh, thank you for joining me again.
Thank you, Erin. It was
I feel
so fun.
like I could take a nice nap now.
I feel me too. I need more coffee.
Your voice. I love you. And we'll see you next time. We'll see you next time on the Live Worthy podcast. Bye.